last night trying to put my son to bed. He's like, no, Dad, what time? What time's Charlie gonna be here? And I'm like, dude, you're in school tomorrow. He's 13. He literally would not leave the house.
Did you let him take off school?
No, he did. Of course not. He's not here for a good reason. But the point is
you canceled school for like 2 years. One day.
The point is the point, which is you are making a damn dent.
Thank you.
I love how Newsom just laughs right through that line of closing in-person school for all the peasant kids of California. Meanwhile, his kids could still attend in-person private schools with special exemptions, but the only learning Newsom is concerned about is being influenced by Charlie Kirk. But in case you don't know who Charlie Kirk is, he's best known for getting hundreds of millions of views on TikTok, educating liberal kids on college campuses. So Newsom is likely trying to use him to reintroduce himself to the public.
Would you say no men in female sports?
Well, I think it's an issue of fairness. I completely agree with you on that. So that's easy to call out, the unfairness of that.
And obviously, this stance on women's sports upsets the left. And Newsom is termed out for governor in California, so he doesn't mind pissing off the local voters, as the Democrats believe they have California in the bag. So he only cares about looking more moderate as he postures for president. But after the botched wildfire response in Los Angeles, the shady circumstances around the billions missing from the high-speed rail, and the rampant homelessness across the state, there's not a chance Newsom will ever become president, as Charlie reminds him exactly why.
Why is it you were able to clean it up for Xi Jinping, but you can't clean it up?
That was the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. By the way, you guys weaponized that. I saw that on 25 things. It was the most ridiculous. That was you know what? I will happily revert back to your
Can I have the streets as clean as Xi Jinping?
In this case, weaponized.
Can I
weaponized.
Can I get the Xi Jinping
It was
streets
ridiculous.
back?
Give me a break.
Oh no, the colossal amounts of human suffering I've profited off of in my state for years is now being weaponized against me politically. The only thing worse than his weird hand gestures when he wiggles into his lies is the fact that at best, San Francisco looked like this. At worst, San Francisco looked like this, until a Chinese dictator decided to visit, so he turned it into a dystopian nightmare overnight, and even admitted to it.
They're just cleaning up this place because all those fancy leaders are coming into town. That's true, because it's true.
So no wonder this interview had him dripping in sweat on a cold day in Sacramento that sat in the 50s. So the state is in disarray, billions of dollars in debt, and Los Angeles residents still have no answers on when they can rebuild their homes. And on a Wednesday morning, the governor has got nothing better to do than get roasted on his new podcast. You literally couldn't make up this level of incompetence, but here he is setting a new time or low for a politician, as this was probably the most damaging portion of the interview.
Of Donald Trump and Elon Musk sending out tweets, or you doing social media, and then me doing a 3-minute hit at 3 o'clock in the afternoon on CNN. I mean, how the hell do we compete?
Democrats cannot survive in long-form podcasting environments.
Why?
It's too unscripted. It's too masculine, honestly. And the Democrat Party's become too
What
feminine.
is masculine about a podcast? Honestly, because I get the whole manosphere, this bro podcast
to go
stuff.
into the wilderness with no rules and duel it out and see who's better or who's stronger. No, seriously. I mean, like, what?
Democrats can't.
What? No, I mean, like,
we don't do it. You're right. We, for whatever reason, don't do it.
There's something to be said that if you want to earn the respect of forgotten America, you have to show them that you can intellectually joust with no script, no hard breaks, no producers in the ears, no teleprompters. That's where new media is going.
Which makes me wonder how long this podcast will last, as it gets such a bad reaction from both the left and the right, because Charlie is correct. There's a reason Trump and J.D. Vance gained support from their appearances on the Joe Rogan podcast, while Kamala Harris was too terrified to have a 3-hour long-form conversation, as he just stuck to very controlled environments where they can later edit her responses afterwards. And aside from the fact that modern-day Democrats can't survive in long-form conversations under scrutiny, they do genuinely have a masculinity issue, as awkwardly wiggling around is nothing new for Newsom, but their other male candidates for presidential positions don't exactly scream masculinity, as Clay Travis has a point of Tim Walz being the middle-aged Democrat lesbian's idea of what appeals to men, which made me realize exactly what's wrong with the left, as I recently saw some random Netflix show that was a parody of Jeannie Buss running the Los Angeles Lakers. And aside from the tired Netflix tropes of competent girl boss saving her bumbling idiot male counterparts, there was this bizarre incongruence of the NBA players acting sensitive, having low self-esteem, and basically everything opposite of what a millionaire pro athlete would be. As you're basically watching theater kids reading lines written by liberal women that know close to nothing about who they're trying to portray. And that's exactly what the Democrats are doing. Millionaire Nepo babies reading lines written by far-left liberals with useless degrees that have zero idea of what the average American wants.
When I win, I will immediately bring prices down starting on day one.
That ain't true. That's what you just saw.
When I win, I will immediately bring prices down starting on day one.
That ain't true. That's what you just heard.
As nothing fixes your communication issues like having 30 people reading the same exact script with the same exact edit down to the "I'm standing, now I'm sitting," doesn't talking into a tiny lavalier mic make me look more relatable? There's nothing strange about everybody parroting the same propaganda. But what's worse is their issue is no longer what they say, but how they say it. As Congresswoman Crockett has adopted this bizarre persona.
Listen, all I do is give y'all facts. So you come back to me when you don't get that check and say, Jasmine, you were right. Just like y'all want to get out there and say all kinds of, other stuff.
When she used to sound like this.
No one could have told me that when I went down to Austin, now looks like a little bit over a year ago, that I would be running for Congress.
And she's not the only one, as this Tennessee rep started like this.
And I'm running for president of BSG. There are a few reasons that we're running this campaign this year.
But magically turned into this.
I believe in a division. People who've been ostracized, coming to the well. I see white folk and black folk.
As even AOC does it.
There was times of economic opportunity on our way of life.
Now I do understand code switching does exist, as obviously I don't walk around ordering coffee using this movie preview voice, as I used to sound like this.
Is this movie gonna be fun? Are you gonna enjoy it? It doesn't have to always be this.
And all jokes aside, it was just that whenever I recorded an episode super late at night in my tiny LA apartment, I didn't want to bother the neighbors by speaking too loudly, but the comments in those videos would always say, "You have a soothing voice," or "I enjoy hearing you narrate things." So over time, I just learned to lean into it. But what exactly is happening in the Democrat Party that's making them convert from average sounding Americans to something that probably only appeals to maybe 10% of their audience? I honestly don't get it if it's not to deflect from someone actually listening to what they're saying, as they repeat the same talking points that lost them last election.
This is a moment where we are at risk of losing our democracy.
Resorting to singing in the House chamber. And the winning strategy of rolling their eyes at a 13-year-old cancer survivor. So top to bottom, their entire roster is cooked, and no amount of podcasting or code switching is going to fix the internal problems with liberal politicians, as Americans should be mad, but let's just laugh. As Sun Tzu said, never interrupt your opponent while he's making a mistake. So don't make the mistake of not being subscribed to this channel, so you'll never miss any of my concise, light-order commentary on how America is finally back. Then go check out the video on how AOC's live stream might actually turn out to be a felony.